Good morning, all. So, today we'll talk about exception handling. Exception handling in Java. So, in this class, we'll talk about what is meant by exception. Okay, what are the terms involved in the exception? Okay, and what is meant by graceful termination. Graceful termination, abnormal termination. Right? And terms and keywords involved in the exception. These are we'll talk about in today's class. Okay? So, first of all, let me go to the slide. So, exception handling in a Java is a powerful mechanism that handles the runtime errors so the normal flow of the application can be maintained. That is nothing but exception handling. This is the definition for exception handling. So before go through it, let me say some few words about what is meant by exception. Exception nothing but an unexpected, unwanted event that disturbs the normal flow, entire journey of the program. That is nothing but exception. Suppose, let me take general example. General example, interview. You want to attend an interview. I would say there is the Mahadevapura. All right. In Mahadevapura, in some XYZ company, you have to attend the interview. That is your actually plan. So, interview starts by 9 a.m. Assume, general example. So, you have to start from your place by 8. Based on traffic, all these things. You know what is traffic about here. Okay, you have to start from 8. So, while you are starting your journey, that unwanted, unexpected situation was been happen. What is that? You are going on bike. So your bike tire got punctured. This is not expected and unwanted as well. Right? So what we have to do? Just we have to take one alternate solution. Right? We have to take one alternate solution, which is we have to park the bike at safe side and take any cab. What is that alternate solution? Take any cab or these things is there now. Rapido, all these things, book it and reach the place and come and attend your interview. This is nothing but graceful termination. This is called graceful termination. And suppose your bike got punctured, but what you do? You don't take any alternate solution. You are stay there only and you are looking for any puncture shop. It is not recommended, right? If you wait for any shop which will be open, then get repair. That the interview time will out. So it is not recommended. It is called abnormal termination. Right? At 9 a.m. you are interview. You started from your room 8. Bike got punctured and you took the one alternate solution, cab or something, Rapido, you attend an interview, that is called graceful termination. If you are not taking any alternate solution, you are waiting for the shop open, puncture shop, anything, then it is called abnormal termination. Why? You didn't attend an interview in XYZ company. This is called abnormal termination, right? And moreover, abnormal termination not recommended. So this is general example. If you come to the technical part, suppose you have one line, second line, third line, fourth line, fifth line, sixth line. Okay, in this you wrote one code. In the third line, unwanted, unexpected problem occur. You have to take one alternate solution. To handle that exception. That is called graceful termination. So how to handle this alternate solution? With the try and catch block. Understood? Try and alternate solution. Catch is meant for alternate solution. Catch. So these are all the actually keywords. In this you have to pass class name and reference variable. Reference variable you have to pass. This is the actually exception handling. So you wrote some 5 lines. In the 5 line, in the third line, unwanted unexpected problem occurred. Then you have to take one alternate solution by terms of using surrounded with try catch block, right? This is one thing. We have to handle that exception. Program will terminated gracefully, right? First point, if we handle the exception, then the program will terminated gracefully. If you surrounded with that exception, unwanted exception with surrounded with the try block, try catch block, and we are not handle the exception, what will happen? Program will terminated abnormally. So generally, second point, abnormal termination is not recommended. This is the one thing. And always for good practice as a developer, we have to handle the exception. And fourth one, just a minute guys. Okay. And one more point I would say, in the program, even though the problem occur, take alternate solution. Take alternate solution, continue the rest of journey or else program, right? Even though something happened, right? It may be anything. If you take any example, not only, I will tell one more example, nothing but ATM, right? In the ATM also, suppose you try to withdraw, you gave some data to the that machine. After that, what will happen? Because of, might be something will happen. It may be network issue, it may be database problem, etc. You are not getting that hand cash. You didn't get cash. So immediately one message will come. SMS will come. What is that? Sorry, try again later. Based on the it will come a message. So in the ATM mission also, the banking sector also, right? The also used, they are answered also. Exception handle is exception is handle. Clear? That is the thing. So if you went ATM, you try to withdraw money, then some unwanted unexpected thing happened that you didn't get the money. So message came to your mobile, sorry, try again. On the display it will come, sorry, try again. This is, so what I'm trying to make a point here, in the banking sector also they are handle exception, right? They are handle exception and they provide an alternate solution, that is nothing but one message form. Understood? That is one thing. And the main purpose, what is the main purpose? The main purpose of the exception is to run the program gracefully. That is the main purpose, to run the program gracefully. What is meant by gracefully, you know? So unwanted unexpected situation has been happened, then you have to take alternate solution, then you have to, without disturbing the program, your journey, you have to complete your program. That is the main purpose of exception. We have to handle that one. And after that, so exception, okay, purpose, alternate solution, run the program gracefully, okay. So hierarchy, let me talk about one hierarchy, See now, java.lang.object, it is the super class for all classes. If you create any class, demo, sample, arithmetic exception, okay, array, if you create any class, the super class is java.lang.object only. Okay, that is one thing. And that child class, we know the inheritance concept. In the inheritance concept, we are familiar these words, super and child, right? Super is nothing but parent class, child is nothing but subclass. These terms are same, super class, otherwise parent class, right? Otherwise base class. These three terms are same, child class, derived class and subclass. These terms are same. Simply assume annotation, same words. After that, see now what I'm trying to make a point here. Throwable is the child class of object, and throwable has two child classes. One is exception, one is error. And exception also followed by runtime exception under these subclasses. Null point exception, illegal argument exception, array index out of box exception, arithmetic exception, and if you are dealing with any files, IO exception, it is one class. Their child class is file not found exception and class not found exception. And another child of the throwable is error and virtual machine error and out of memory error. These are all errors generally we can face at the time of different scenario situations. Clear? So, okay. Let me explain this hierarchy. So in the java.lang object is the superclass for all classes. If you create any class, superclass is java.lang.object. And throwable is a superclass for all exception. If you find any exception, see now, null point exception, illegal argument exception, array exception, arithmetic exception, whatever you find the exception, parent otherwise superclass is exception. See now, exception. This is the superclass for all exceptions. All exception, this is a superclass, but all the class java.lang object is the superclass. Clear? That's why I wrote here java.lang object is the superclass for all classes. Java.lang throwable is the throwable is the superclass for exception. And throwable has two childs, exception and error. And their child classes, exception had different class available. Under this common exception, runtime exception is one there, right? See here, runtime exception. After that, and their child classes, null point exception. Null pointer is the direct child class of runtime. See now, it is direct child class. Null point exception is direct child to the runtime exception. Their parent is exception. Their parent is java.lang throwable. Clear? And file not found exception. The file not found exception is the child class of IO exception. Right? This one. The file not found. Green color literal. In the literal of just okay. In the file not found. Okay? This is the child class of IO exception. IO exception is child class of exception. Exception is the child class of java.lang throwable. Clear? Now, class not found option is the one of the exception, direct class of exception. See now, this is the one exception. This is direct class of exception class. And JVM sometimes facing the virtual machine error. It's not a very rare. Sometimes JVM will face virtual machine error. What that is nothing but out of memory error, right? There is a child class of virtual machine error. That virtual machine error is child class of error. That is directly child class. This error is the directly child class of throwable. This is the hierarchy of minimum hierarchy. Minimum hierarchy we have to remember at the time of dealing with this one, exception. Clear? And suppose error. What is meant by error means the definition of the error in a Java is a serious problem that occur the Java level, such as system case or memory issue, and it indicates conditions that a program should not try to handle. After that, exception. Exception is the event occurred during the execution of the program that disturbs the normal flow of instruction, can be handled by the programmer using try-catch block. Clear? Actually, we are not discussing about error. We are discussing about how to handle the exception, unwanted situation. And And if you go to the hierarchy, okay, if you go to the hierarchy, runtime exception and their child classes. What are those? Null point exception, illegal argument exception, array index bot of exception, arithmetic exception, and error and their child class called unchecked exception. Okay. Yeah, see now, runtime exception and their child classes called belongs to unchecked exception, and error and its child class. If you go to the hierarchy, runtime exception and their child classes, error and their child classes are called unchecked exceptions, and the remaining are checked exceptions. What are the remain? Exception, IO exception, file not found exception, class not found exception. These are all checked exceptions. So they are okay. For that purpose, I wrote one this one. See, concentrate here. I will demonstrate one thing. So we know java.lang.object is a class, super class for all classes. Clear? And java.lang throwable is the super class for all exception. Clear? Now it has two child classes. What are those? Runtime. Okay. One is the runtime and their child classes. Runtime exception and their child classes. This is called unchecked exceptions. See now, in this box only I wrote all runtime exceptions and the runtime exception of child classes, null point exception, illegal argument exception, arithmetic exception, array index out of the box exception, and error and their child classes. Right? First four are the runtime exceptions. Remaining all are the error and their exceptions. What are those? Virtual machine error and out of memory error. These are all called unchecked exceptions and checked exceptions. What are those? IO exception, nothing but input output exception, file not found exception. I know this is under IO exception only, and class not found exception and SQL exception. We are not dealing with SQL. Structured query language exception we are not dealing with, so we are dealing with mostly unchecked exception. Okay, mostly what we will get means null point exception. Sometimes null pointer exception, mostly commonly we can face the problem, and sometimes okay, I will explain this array, arithmetic, illegal and null point code based. Okay. After that, yeah, we are categories unchecked and checked exceptions. What is meant by checked exception? Nothing but the exception checked by the compiler for the smooth execution program at the runtime, called checked exception. Handle these exception by using surrounded with try catch, otherwise throw keyword. Sometimes you can find out the throws keyword. Sometimes we find the try catch block. Okay, next immediate to the method. They will write immediate to the method, throws and class names. Sometimes they will write whatever the risky code they will put in the try block. Okay, see now exception syntax of that. In the try block we have to put the code that may throw the exception. Otherwise this line, so and so line, third line, it may cause a problem. Then we have to put inside the try block. Otherwise, whichever the line of the code or logic may cause exception at the runtime, that lines we have to add in the try block. And catch, what is meant by catch means alternate solution. I gave one example, right? Interview example, same as the how to handle this unwanted unexpected situation by using catch block. This is the class name and E is the reference variable, right? This is the, okay, I will explain this one. Just a minute. Anyone in the call? Okay, no. All right, so checked exception, and example is file not found exception and unchecked exception definition. The exception not checked, here checked by the compiler, here not checked by the compiler. Whether programming handle or not handle such type of exception called unchecked exception. And note points in a Java anywhere exception occurred, then two categories. Anywhere, if you write any number of lines, suppose you wrote 2, 3, 4 and so on, you write some 140 lines, 140 line code you wrote. In the third line, exception occurred. Exception occurred. That may be checked or unchecked. Checked or unchecked exception only. In these two categories only it belongs to. Right? What are those checked and unchecked? Null point exception, either illegal argument, either arithmetic, either array index out of the boundary while you are writing some code, either virtual machine error, out of memory error, otherwise if you are dealing with files, file is not available in your machine in so and so path. You gave one path. In that path, the machine, what you would say, I will say file is not exist, right? Then you may find exception as file not found exception or class not found exception. Okay? Exception occurred that may checked or unchecked. These are all the exceptions. Got it? Now, important note points. Yeah. Important note point I wrote in the red line. Whether it is checked exception, otherwise unchecked exception occurred at the time of code. That is clear. We are developing some program. In that, exception occurred. That might be first point, checked exception, otherwise unchecked exception. When it will rise, always rise at runtime only, not at the compile time error. Not at the compile time. We have two things in Java, right? One thing we have to compile .java, right? Generally I am speaking. Generally, if you write any code, we have to do two things. One is two things we have to do. What is those? First thing we have to compile, right? Generally in the notepad, Java C class name .java, then .java class or source file will convert as .class file, right? Making sense? Now that .class file we have to execute. That we have to execute, nothing but running. We have to make it run. Then what will happen? Some exception occur. Then we have to we have to surrounded with try catch block. Clear? Now, when the exception will happen? Come to the back, come to the point. Whenever the checked exception or unchecked exception, right? You are writing some code, exception was occurred, it might be checked or unchecked. When it will come? At the runtime only, not at the compile time. Not at the compile time. At the execution time, exception will occur. Then we have to handle as a developer, we have to handle with the try catch block. This is the fundamentals, right? Let me open this exception. Where is that slide? Just a minute. Yeah. Fundamentals. In a Java log fundamentals, we discussed, right? Data types we discussed, operators discussed, arithmetic operators, logic, done. Control flow statements, done. Fourth fundamental of the language is exception handling. These four concepts are the technically called language fundamentals. We are talking about exception handling statements. Clear? Okay, this is fine. All right. So yeah, syntax. Let me write coding part now. Let me go to the coding part sessions. Suppose you took one class name as demo, open braces, close braces, right? Now, see now, I'm trying to explain arithmetic exception. Suppose in the main method, public static void main method, string, square braces, arcs, break it, close it, method so, must and should, open bracket, close bracket, method should has body, it's a concrete body, so open braces, close braces, I will take one local variables, integer a equal to 10, integer b equal to 2, and I want to do some simple operation, nothing but a divided by b, then it will give some result that is obviously in the integer, right? Now what is the answer? 2 divided by 2, it became 5. This is called graceful termination, we know, and we can print the result. Now if I take 0, what will happen? It will throw one exception. Why? In Java, if we divided by any number with 0, will give arithmetic exception. Arithmetic exception, right? So this one we have to surround it with the try block. Exception will occur. So here In the place of a, what is their number? 10 divided by 0. This is actually not valid in the Java. So let me go to the coding part. Let me remove this one. Oh, it's null point exceptions. Okay, no issue. Let me remove this console. Let me create one package, src. Let me create one package, src, right click on the src, new. Okay, loading slowly. Again, loading slowly. Okay, just wait for few minutes, few seconds. New package. Let me take package name as com.exception.sample. Okay, this is my package name. Let me hit finish. Package has created here. Let me create class in this package. Class, let me write class name as I want to arithmetic, right? Arithmetic sample. Let me take public static void main method and hit finish. Okay. Basic I'm writing. First I will write basic program. After that I will deal with two classes. Let me remove this class. Let me remove this class comments. Now let me take two local variables, integer a equal to 10, comma integer b equal to 2, and a divided by b, and it will give some result. Result is one variable name, so it obviously integer. F. Now let me write system.out.println, whatever the result, that number store inside the, it's loading, inside the result variable, I want to print that one. Result, Control V, Shift F, validation, save it. Now let me, simple code, let me run as Java application. Let me see what will come. Okay, 5 came. Right? Okay, able to see, right? Otherwise, let me put, okay. This is left side, this is right side. Okay. Again. Okay, it's okay. Just give me this. Let me make. Oh, what happened? Okay. I'll remove this one. Answer came right. Answer came this side. Let me do. Okay. Answer downside 5. Okay. We can understand the what is the exception also in this way. Okay. So answer came 5. Now what I will do? I will give 0. I want to try to divide it by with 0. Save this one. Now see, observe this. Observe, concentrate here. What I updated in the B variable, I updated 0. In Java, if you divided any value with 0, what it will come? It will come error. What is those error? Java.lang.arithmetic exception. This is the child class. Arithmetic exception is the child class. Package name is java.lang. And it is showing that error as a exception is a thread main method. Java.lang package. Arithmetic exception is the class name. What is that? What is that? By 0. Divided by 0. Right? Let me write here in the comments. A. What is the A? 10. Divided by 0. And which line? In a September student batch. Okay, it's my project name. com.exception.sample.arithmetic sample. What is this? It is my package name. com.exception.sample arithmetic. It's a sample is up to here. Up to here, my package name. After this, my class name. Arithmetic sample. Just check third line. In the third line, arithmetic sample is my class name, which is showing in the console and main method. And it's showing the line also. What is that line? In this line, actually problem occur. So this is called abnormal termination. So how to handle this one? With the try catch block. Exception simply it is nothing but not fixing. Even though problem occurred, we have to surround it with the alternate solution. Remember this one. If you are doing one program, in that unwanted, unexpected situation was happen, we have to surround it with the try catch block. Now, what is the risky code here? Because of 9th line only I got this error, right? For that purpose, let me write a try block, try catch block. What is my risky code? Let me remove these comments. Risky code is 9th line. Let me put the risky code in the try block. And let me remove this line. Save this one. And let me remove this thing also. Let me remove this thing. Let me remove this thing also. So in the try block, whatever the risky code which is happen in the ninth line, I put in the in the try block. So this is regarding try block. Now catch. In the what is the catch? What is main purpose of the catch is giving the alternate solution. Right? Giving the alternate solution. What is this here? What is this exception? It is a one. See now, java.lang is one, exception is a one class. What is that? It is the parent class of all exception. Right? Is that hierarchy? Oh, sorry, throwable. Throwable is the actually parent class, superclass of all exception. So what they wrote exception. They took exception class and the reference variable E. We know how to write the object for the class. Exception, okay. Exception, okay. They took reference variable as a E equal to new keyword exception, this one. They, what is this? Assume. Class name, E is the reference variable. Reference variable point out to address. Important point this one. Reference variable is very, very important concept. Reference variable and same doing. I will do same. I don't do anything. Equal under equal, new under new, exception, and that is what is that? Class name. Open braces, close braces. Exception. Exception is class name is reference variable equal to new keyword, new exception. What I will do, I will remove this one. I will remove this one. So what was remain? Exception and reference variable. This one I will take, concentrate here, class name and reference variable. I will take these two and I will add here. Understood? That's the thing. Now here you write anything. System.out.println. What can I write? Okay, let me write in Java. Any value is not in Java, any value not divided with something message 0. This is alternate solution. Why? I try to divided one value with 0. I took one alternate solution. In that I wrote one message. Let me see what will come now. Right click on this. So what I done here? What I have done? Previously I did 10 divided by 2. It gave answer 5. Again I try to divide it with 0. Then I got one exception. In this risky code I put in the try block and I gave one alternate solution. That's why I gave the attending interview example. You can match with that one. Now save this one. Now let me run this code. What will happen? Even though unwanted unexpected situation happen, I surrounded with the try block, then my program completed gracefully. This is called arithmetic exception example. Clear? Now just a minute. Okay, this is the thing. Previously what came the arithmetic exception. Clear? Same thing I will do in the two classes, little more elaborately. Okay, let me go to again this package. Let me create class. Let me create one class name as a service. Okay, this is fine. I don't take main method. Let me hit finish. Now this is one class. I want to try to make a point here. At which line exception is happening and how to handle that one. That is my thing. Just to save this one. This is assume class 1. Let me save this one. Let me write one method for your understanding. System.out.println. Okay. Without method we can't write system.out.println this method. Let me write in this method one method in the class. So void is a return type. Let me write perform arithmetic. In this let me give integer x comma integer y. These are all my parameters in this. Okay, let me give public access modifier. We can access this method anywhere, nothing but any package, any class. And let me write one statement system dot not this one, sysout. And this method started, right? Method started, but I don't write main method. I will write main method in second class. Then you can understand. Control will go to the main method. After that, you will come to the first class. It and the rest of the program. Now, what I will do? Let me take integer. So, if I pass the arguments, it will store inside the arguments, right? Now, integer. Not integer. X divided by y. I will assume if I pass arguments, it will store in the xyz and it will store the result in the result variable. After that, it is obviously integer, right? If you divided by 10 divided by 2, 5, it is an integer. Obviously result, obviously integer. Then system out.println. Let me write result of x and y. Let me give the concatenate symbol, and whatever the result store in the result variable, let me give this one here. Let me save this one. Ctrl A, Ctrl Shift F, Ctrl Shift F, and let me write one simple statement. Ended. What is that? Ended. Method method. Which method? Arithmetic method. Let me give the underscore. Arithmetic method performance ended. Okay. This is first class. And I have to pass the arguments. Now let me create one more class. Class 2. Simple only. Arithmetic method only. I am taking 2 classes. And what can I say here? Test text exception and main. Let me hit the main method. This is my class 2. In this I will pass the arguments, and moreover I took the main method. Now let me remove these comments. Now what I will do, I have to create object for first. Before that, let me write system.out.println. Let me write main method started. Main method started. Control will come to the 5th line, and it will go to this statement. It will print. After that, let me create object for the first class. This is second class, class 2, right? I don't create object for the second class. I will create object for the first class. What is my first class? Service. Copy this one. In the second class, I will create object. How to create object? With the new keyword, braces and equal to, and let me take reference variable as it's a arithmetic exception, right? So AS. And my class name. What is this first class name? I created object for the first class, not for the second class. Now with the reference variable, we can call the non-static method as dot. Let me call method name. What is that method name? Performing arithmetic, right? It is coming from the service. Observe this one. Performance arithmetic is the method name. Parameters integer x, integer y, return type is void coming from the service class. I will take this one. Now it is expecting data. Let me give normal data without any exception. Okay, I don't give 2 is fine. Let me write system.out.println main method ends. Right? Let's save this one. So what I am doing here, what I done here, what I done, just save this one. Let me run this code. Let me run as Java application. See now what happened. Okay, let me make it up. Okay, see now main method started. Why? Because of controller. First will come to the main method. It won't go to the upon the any lines. Controller will go to the main method. It will check the main method. After that it's printed main method started. It's printed 6th line. Right? Main method started. After that it will go to the 8th line. Created object. We gave the reference variable as dot. So see here in the 8th line we created object for the first class. This is class 2. Right? This is class 2 actually. We are created object for the first class. Then with the reference variable we invoked the nothing but calling the method, and it expected some what we would say arguments 10 and 5. Then it will go to the first class. After that method started, it will print here. First what printed? Main method. This line printed. After that control went in this here. After that it went 9th line. Then 9th line too it will go to the first class. Then after main method started, 6th line printed here, second. After that the arguments entered. Oh, actually firstly it entered here. After that it's printed. These variables holded the data x. What is the x now? What is the x? 10, right? 10 divided by 2. Whatever the operation has done, it will store inside the result. Right? Then it's printed result of the xyz. 10th line it's printed here console. Result of xyz. Right? Result of xyz printed 5. 10 divided by 5. 10 divided by 2. Result is 5. It's printed here. After that what happened? Arithmetic method performance ended. It's printed on the console. Now what happened? That's it. End of the code. Then again it will go to the main method now. Again this line executed. Up to now this line only executed. It went to this one. It's printed on the console. Again it back to class 2. Then printed main method. Okay. Main method ends. Then it's printed on the console. Okay. Okay. Method. A main method ends. Clear? Now I want to pass the 0. Now we will see what will happen. Main method started. Right? After that main method it execute it after that it treat the object service as equal to new service, that is object creation. After that main method started where it went to the first class. It's printed also. After that here I pass argument as a 0. It is not valid in the Java. Then java.lang arithmetic exception by divided by 0. Same problem occurred, but in the two different classes. Previously, I tried to demonstrate it in one class only. Now it is a two classes. So where we can get this one? September student batch is like it's my project name, it is my package name, com.sample service, performing the arithmetic. Where it occurred? In the perform arithmetic. What is that? In this method name, line number 8. Here, this is my exception. So this is the risky code cause of arithmetic exception. What I have to do? I have to surround this line in the try block. Try block. Then this risky code I have to put in the comment. In the try block. Right? Now alternate solution. What can I write? Let me write system.out.println. Let me write reference variable address. Let me write give the E. What will happen? We'll see. Let me give the reference variable E. Not this one. E. Let me give simple E. Let me remove this thing. Let me save this one. Control Shift F. Control A. Control Shift F. Annotations. Now exception I surrounded. Now let me save this one. In the test also. In the test what will happen? In the 9th line. Okay. It is showing it, not a problem. I surrounded with try class block. Now we will see what will happen. Let me run as Java application. Let me see what happened. See now. This is called graceful termination. How? Controller enter into the main method. It's printed 6th line. Main method started. It's printed on the console. After that, I created object for the first class. Service reference variable as equal to new keyword with a class name. I passed as a illegal arguments. I passed as a 0, 10 and 0. Then this data will take into the first class and it will done some operation. This is the main cause of the exception. This is the risky code. So where we have to put that risky code in the try block only. This is the risky code which is the cause of the exception. That lines only we have to put in the try block. Then we can handle the unwanted, unexpected situation while smoothly going on the program. Right? We are surrounded with try block. After that, in the catch, we have to provide some alternate solution without disturbing the flow of the program. In the catch, in this exception, you can take anything. If you know what is the exception, you can write direct exception. If you write arithmetic exception, not a deal. If you write the parent exception, that is also not a deal. So, if you write arithmetic exception also, let me write arithmetic exception, right? Arithmetic exception I will write in the place of exception. Let me paste here. See now, not a big deal. If you know the exception, you can print that only. Otherwise, you can give the parent class. What is that parent class of arithmetic? If you go to the hierarchy, arithmetic, null point exception, all this exception is the parent class of exception. That is the child class of throwable. This is the hierarchy. And the java.lang.object is the parent class of all classes. Right? That only we discussed it, right? So java.lang.object is the superclass of all classes, but java.lang throwable is the superclass of all exception. So what is here exception? Arithmetic exception. It has two childs. One is exception and one is error. You directly take the exception, not a big deal. Otherwise, you can take the arithmetic. This one, fourth one. Arithmetic exception, it is not a big deal. Which type of exception it is? Checked, unchecked exception, right? When we get exception not at the compile time, right? At the compile time, we didn't get any error. After execution only we can get error, right? That's why that error we can able to see on the console. After that, we are surrounded with the try block. After that, we did graceful termination. This is the main purpose of the exception handling. The main purpose of the exception handling is continue the program as a graceful, right? So, yeah, what I'm trying to make a point is I created object for the first class. After that, in the 9th class, I try to invoke the non-static method. We know how to call the non-static method. We have to call the non-static method with the reference variable. AS is my reference variable. It will show the address of the class. So I pass the argument 10, 0. Then it will go to the first class, and this argument will store into the x divided by 0. If you divide it by any value with 0, it will lead to exception. So we have to surround it with try block. So what is the alternate solution? You can take a class name and the reference variable. I was right. How to write this thing already explained, right? Class name and reference variable is equal to new keyword and class name. So in this catch block, you have to give the alternate solution. So in this 11th line, I wrote that system.out.println, I gave the reference variable. Then it gave the actual problem, java.lang.arithmetic exception divided by 0. If you give the reference variable, it will print on the console what is the exception. After that, catch block has done. Now, fourth one. In the fourth line, it won't go to the, it will go to the fourth line and it will print arithmetic method performance has ended. It's printed. Again, this class done. Again, it will go back to the class 2. Why? Because of control will start from main method. This is the entry for the controller. So, from this line, it entered in the first class. After that, it came back to the 10th line. Main method ends. This is how we have to handle the exception. Even though unwanted, unexpected situation will happen at the time of writing program. Clear? So that's it. Remaining things regarding unexpected, unchecked exceptions, null pointer, illegal, array index out of the box, array index out of the boundaries exception we will discuss tomorrow. Clear? So we are not discussing this one, error. We are mainly concentrating on, we are highlighting on how to deal the unchecked exceptions. Okay, remaining class we'll see tomorrow class. Okay, that's it for tomorrow today. Introduction. In this class we discussed about right, let me go to the starting points. Exception handling, what is meant by exception, graceful termination, abnormal termination, and terms. Right, terms nothing but keywords. Try, catch, throw and throws. These are all the keywords and some example. And hierarchy, right? Hierarchy and checked and unchecked. And in that unchecked we discussed about under definitions and syntax of the try catch block. And then after that we went to the next slide, arithmetic exception, right? Up to here we covered. So remaining things we will cover tomorrow class.